Podcast.
Alright, I've never done a live show before, and obviously neither have they, although they cosplay every once in a while at conventions. I'm Mike, aka Silverhawks, from the Fathergamer Podcast, and we are here at COMICPALOOZA, actually for the first time ever, so this is actually kind of cool. We were originally supposed to talk about the history of conventions, however...
We do what we do best, we ad-lib. Yeah.
Stand-ins.
Well, we're a part of the podcast. We're just more of the social media standby and cosplay part, which part of our podcast,
By all means, introduce yourself.
Yes. So I am Brook, or Curly Q Cosplay from the Fathergamer Podcast.
I am Brianna, or Miss Murder Cosplay on Fathergamer Podcast. And I am Linzee, aka Linzee Gray, on social medias and Fathergamer Podcast.
And hopefully, our Fathergamer will actually be here at least halfway through.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. And one other member that we have, Kyle, hopefully.
Yeah.
They'll make an appearance. They're stuck.
Do we really want Kyle banging on the table?
Not at all.
I mean, really, it would be optimal if it wasn't, but, you know, that's kind of the package you roll with when you get Kyle.
Yeah, and anyone
you get all of Kyle. You don't just get a portion of Kyle. You get
Yeah, we never get a portion of Kyle, even if he's sick. It's all or nothing.
Can he portray packages? You know, like, one day we get Kyle the way that we usually see him, but then we can tell him, hey, look, we need the child-friendly package.
No, that's not how it works. I'm his sister, and I've grown up with him for 25 years. He has one package, and it's slightly damaged, and it got, like, damaged in the FedEx thing.
And
that's
it's also
Kyle.
taped up with the really crappy Amazon tape that they somehow still haven't figured out how to get better tape for their packages. I'm shocked by all of this. Anytime I get a package, I'm like, why do they have the worst tape when they're like the most shippable company ever?
I know, and he's like the one that was labeled fragile, but it seems like they've Ace Ventura'd it down the hallway, and it's just, the box is shot to hell. I can actually say that word.
Yes, you can.
Yeah!
And we can just say all this because he's not here.
Yes. My brother would murder me.
He could
And
try.
if we have anybody that does cuss more than PG, we're going to just pelt them with a lot of, I don't know, we can pelt them with the chairs, I guess.
No.
Or the other microphone.
This broken mic.
Broken mic.
Just whack them on the head.
Yeah.
So basically, we're going by this as ad-lib.
We can Jerry Springer this.
Yes. So like Mike said, you know, life does as it does, and so we are flying by the seat of our pants right now.
For 45 minutes.
For 45 minutes. So we're going to talk about what we all talk about best, which is conventions.
Yes.
And how much...
So we're still going to do that a little bit, but not the history of it.
No. Just like what we expect, what we've seen, our favorite parts of the convention, what, you know... Everyone thinks about getting
for a convention as a cosplayer.
We thought today was going to be the easy day because we're casualing it out. No, it took us 4 hours from getting up to completely walking out the door because apparently, even in cosplay form, we're women and we say 5 minutes, but we really mean I'll be done in like 6 hours. It doesn't translate well. Usually, my normal everyday stuff takes me 5 minutes. I'm the very no mess girl. I'm like top knot. All that crap. When it comes to cosplay, since it's like what I make money off of and like what I do, it takes a whole lot more because I have to hide the fact that I'm a gremlin to the public. They can't know that like
You just announced that you're a gremlin to an entire convention.
I don't care.
Do not.
I wanted you to be aware that that's what you did.
Well, I mean, one of my taglines is the doe-eyed gremlin, which...
I was going to make a reference to water, but if you're a gremlin already, then that's not going to happen. What's up?
We have a question.
So, history of thoughts. Tell me about your first convention.
Oh my god. My first convention was A-Con, and I want to say it was in 2010. And I didn't cosplay that con because I was that, you know, insecure child who was like, I'm kind of chubby, I'm a nerd, you know, I don't think I can pull anything off. The next year went full on penguin. Like, didn't care that I was a girl. I straight up went as the Tim Burton version of Penguin. Like, didn't care.
I like that.
And I just now realized that my style went from like Tim Burton to like I've gone extremely girly. Like,
Did you do the waddle?
oh yeah, well I was chubby, so it was kind of natural at that standpoint.
My first convention was in Japan when I was 18,
Nice.
which is an undisclosed number of years ago. I dressed up as CL from Black Butler, but in his pink dress outfit.
Nice.
And I got to meet Matt Mercer, who is a very popular voice actor.
He's the best.
He is great. I listened to his podcast as well about his live Dungeons and Dragons campaigns.
If you're listening, Matt Mercer, we love you.
You might not remember me, but that's okay. I was wearing a fishnet shirt and a purple bra, if that sparks any memory.
Great combo.
Amanda liked it.
Appeal to a man's like memory from like what we wore.
There's actually a picture of it where he has his arm around me, but he's very clearly not touching
Oh, he
me.
was hover handing.
He was hover handing me.
Because you know, at cons, there's the question of like, I can't tell if this person is 18 or 13. So you do that whole like, am I?
Very
You can't see me, but I'm doing the awkward like, shuffle.
I also got to meet Lauren Landa, who's another voice actor, and they were there representing Funimation together.
Well, I'm actually kind of new to the con game as far as years go. I think my first one, it was Anime Matsuri.
Anime Matsuri, yeah.
It was with us, right?
2015, 16?
I think it was 2016.
2016.
That
That
was
was my first con.
after my San Diego experience, yeah.
Yeah,
San Diego.
so new to the con game, a lifetime nerd, but new to the con experience, and man, there's just something different about actually going to one of these conventions, just because, even if you're that closet nerd that like you only meet people over the internet, there's something kind of refreshing about going into a gigantic room with a bunch of people and you're like, I have at least one common interest with everybody in this room. We're all nerds who have a particular show, anime, art style, video game, just you name it. You'll find somebody here that enjoys your thing pretty much almost as much as you do, and it's refreshing to feel that just comfortability.
Yeah, walking into a room full of like friends that you haven't met yet.
Oh yeah, immediately.
Also, like the important thing about it that no one ever really talks about, but it's really important and very like uplifting to see, is the amount of like emotional stamina it takes to go to a convention, because there's a lot of people who get nervous in crowds and they're scared,
That is very true.
and then you see like somebody who is in your fandom and that like immediate anxiety, because I have panic attacks in crowds, and that immediate anxiety goes out the window when you're like, there's other people like me here, so I don't have to fear that I'm going to be judged or I'm going to have a very negative experience, because I've never had a negative experience at a con. There have been some like on the internet, you read about it, but like in mainstream society you hear about so much more hatred, and then when it comes to the nerd community, there's so much support at these conventions that's really important, because at least one person in your whole entire life you felt judged or whatever, and then this is our safe space where we're like, I am like 97 and I'm going to be a Sailor Scout, and this and everyone loves you.
Yeah.
You never have any form of judgment.
And I feel like that speaks out, especially
Jukes my main.
It speaks out especially in the cosplay, because I mean we were literally just walking around and all you get are just like supportive compliments where people are like, even if they don't know exactly what you're cosplaying, they're like, that looks cool. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but that looks awesome. Or they're like, I love this show.
Or big or small you are at all.
No, it's a very inclusive community, which I feel like in this day and time with like crap hitting the fan, it's very important that like we all, love each other, and that there's that support here, which is one of the main reasons I love coming to cons. I'm an extrovert, but I also used to be a very shy, scared person, and the first time I came to a con, all that went out the window, and I made so many new friends, and it opened like an ability for me to be myself.
How can you be shy and awkward if there's so many shiny things to look at?
I know I have ADD, and that's pointed out a lot on this podcast.
So, since I haven't done it yet. My first convention was AnimeCon in Dallas. It was a very small convention. It used to be called BronyCon, but they changed it.
Because of the, the connotation.
Because of the specific connotation that can go along with that, yes.
Yes.
So they changed it to a more inclusive con.
Would you say that it was a one-trick pony?
I would say so, yes. I don't know.
I forgot. I have like a...
And then Fan Expo, I guess, would be another one, or Dallas Comic Con.
Yeah, that was like...
And then 2015 with the San Diego Comic Con. Holy
That's
crap.
a whole new level.
It was sardines. The entire, every row was packed to sardine level.
Yeah,
this convention, COMICPALOOZA, is by far my favorite convention.
For my social anxiety of not having to throw elbows in a crowd, it's perfect. There's
same amount of people, but a lot more open.
This is my first time at COMICPALOOZA, and I honestly can say that I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same for me. This is going so well. They have a lot. They just have a wide range of things. Like it says COMICPALOOZA, but they're not limiting on just
and the
comics.
Space. So the first thing that I have to point out that I'm a huge fan of COMICPALOOZA since I've been going to cons for so long is the staff. Number one, professional, helpful, getting lines and everything. Oh my God, usually some cons I see people running around screaming and crying, and then there's people yelling at the staff. I don't see that here, and I'm so happy about that, which is great. But I love the fact that everything is handled streamlined. We got our passes in less than 10 minutes.
I was going to say, yeah.
And on a Saturday, and this place is hopping. So everyone's been very informative, very nice and polite. I haven't met any, it's been number one customer service from when we walked through bag check.
And I think that says a lot for just the whole entire team that has to go through the planning of what it takes to do one of these. You're talking probably hundreds of staff members.
And hours.
And shout out to the security people as well.
Oh yeah, they have to put up with so much.
They have to go through all the bags every single time you come back into the convention. I've actually given out water to 2 of them so far several times.
And that's all.
They don't have anything at all right now. So if you see a security guard, drop them a water or 2, even maybe some snacks or something, man. They're here for a reason, and they need assistance as well.
And that's one thing I'll also point out is at the front, when you have to come in through bag check, I really appreciate that, especially in the world that's gotten crazy.
Yeah.
Seeing that line there, kind of like Disney World's open your bag, so it gives another sense of security.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't a cursory glance either.
No, it was thorough.
It was thorough.
I had to open my makeup bag and then my jewelry bag. It was thorough, and I love that. As a, awkward person who fears the worst at everything, being in our podcast where I have to fear for my life from my own brother with flying objects. If you ever listen to an episode, he just
threw a shoe in her eye.
And it's on, what is it, episode 72? 72 or 71?
72 or 71.
And so I had to proceed the whole rest of the episode like Nick Fury. And I had an ice pack over my eye, and again, this is why
up and down to this day, he swears that he said heads up.
He's a liar, and I wish I could curse. He is a liar. He said heads up as it hit me in the eyeball.
As it almost threw,
He's a liar.
He did not say heads up.
Good to see you.
He was a liar.
Thanks for stopping.
What a jerk. So if you've never listened to our podcast, that's one thing. There's the tagline of, what is it? We can't say the word, but
what?
Oh wait, we can say damn.
You can say damn.
I can say damn. It's damn Kyle or it's damn Mook, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the it part.
That's a future show.
Am I allowed to say the it part?
It does need to be a shirt.
Okay.
It's just an add-on to the word damn.
I want to make sure I don't get hit with any projectiles from the disciplinary committee.
I don't think the disciplinary committee is going to be throwing objects at us.
Well, I'm quite wary.
I don't know what's in that backpack beside you.
My hope is gone.
We already talked about how I'm a paranoid person of
I also
flying
said it without asking permission. I'm very sorry.
Hey, all might's back.
Well, and so I will say that COMICPALOOZA has been one of the like I said, I've gone to a lot, but it's been one of the conventions that I've just felt very little anxiety.
It's very chill.
Just because there's a lot of space in between the aisles.
You also want to know what I love? The air conditioning. I have not been hot this whole time.
Because when you get this many people in a room, things
feels
will
good in here.
heat up.
Oh yeah. It's one of those things where you pack a lot of people into a room like a sardine
I'm actually
can, and
streaming
there's
right now, which is good.
yeah, and there is no air conditioning. You know, cons can become
Look, there's a My Hero Academia
tedious.
pile up right there.
Oh, there is.
Oh man,
I'm
We got a
loving
whole
it.
My
Wait,
Hero
what?
Academia
There's a whole group.
And
That's
again,
Everybody's
there's
gotta pose around all
no
night.
Hiroshima.
not at all. We're upset.
I think
But
we'll get these.
we'll
And then we
talk.
have the Joker.
Yes, we're talking
Hey,
about
Joker.
y'all. Hey,
Shout out,
y'all look fantastic.
And so that's another thing we can talk about is the fact of that group
Nice.
cosplays, because we're going to talk about yeah,
Double Joker there.
we're going to talk about cosplay stuff on this panel.
Nice.
To stretch. Wow, Mike. No one talks about how hard it is to put together a group cosplay.
Well,
Group cosplays are really hard.
wait,
Oh my god.
is there a group?
Oh my
I
god,
think they're,
Mike.
I think
I
they're two different groups.
But still, there was two separate groups.
Oh, group.
Yes. Yeah, group.
Or three.
What did
I
you think I was saying?
thought you said
No, not Groot.
I am Groot.
But just like
Wait.
groups in general.
Groups in general.
Yeah.
I am Groot.
Whenever we're trying to plan for a convention and we're trying to do a group cosplay, it literally we have to plan 3 months in advance because work,
Yeah, that's true.
funds, because being working and in college, funds can be a little
Tight. Scared.
living off ramen
Or maybe
noodles.
just not
Do
college.
I want organza or do I want food for the week? Like,
I'm too old.
Get the
for
organza.
college.
always the organza. I'll
Your
just
body will eat yourself before anything else bad happens, so you've got some time.
got some time. But that is one thing that people, when they take into account of doing group cosplays, they don't think about it. How much long, like how long it is, the dedication, and how people just see a group and go, "Oh, that's cute." They don't think of like the man hours that went into like trying to coordinate it all. And I like admire people who do massive groups. Like I've been a part of a Mooney group for years,
Yeah.
and getting all freaking 9 Sailor Scouts together without like duplicates is almost near impossible.
Yeah, it's very rare. It's very rare that I've even seen some of your videos or some other people's posts where they had exactly every single one of the Sailor Scouts. It's usually like a double.
It's like
of
you've
one.
got 3 Mars
Wow,
and there's
yeah.
like nobody.
So I
it's
guess
hard.
the other thing to consider is that like how different people translate different styles too.
Oh yeah, like ours today, where as we were doing a group cosplay, we were all like, we want to be comfortable. That's another thing about cosplay. When you go into it thinking, start small and then go big. If you
Yeah.
start big, you're going to hate it because you're like, I am so uncomfortable. And is it going to be like this every time?
But not only
And
that,
it doesn't
you pull
have
it off.
to be. It does
at the
not.
time needed.
It does not have to be.
If you go big, also at the very first time, honestly, you may not have enough time to build your cosplay properly.
And then I feel like if it's your first time cosplaying and you make something really, really big and something breaks,
Right.
your like hopes and dreams are crushed. Because I did that with my first weapons build. I was building Deanne's hammer from 7 Deadly Sims.
Yeah.
Sims. 7 Deadly Sims. No, 7 Deadly Sins. And it is made out of literally a broom handle, a lot of tears, and cardboard. And it came together really, really well.
Yeah.
But in designing it and doing the 3D aspect of it, I'd never done anything like that before. So I literally probably cried for 36 hours, and I finished my hammer right before A-Con.
Yeah.
Oh my god, never again.
So, what did you use as far as like how to build the axe itself or the hammer itself? What did you use to build that around the staff?
So I'm I do what you call thrifting cosplays, where budget friendly.
Hashtag cardboard.
Time. Or repurposing things in your house. Like my brother was like, "Where did the freaking broom go?" And I went, "I don't know. It's in the middle of my hammer as my actual like long staff." I cut all the bristles. I had to go buy another broom. So the base is a broom handle, so I could screw the top part off for transportation. Because anyone knows if you've been traveling or you fly with a huge prop, you run the risk of breaking it. So I made it where you could detach it in 2 pieces. And so the top part is cardboard, painter's tape, a lot of newspaper, and like I said, the will of Jesus. and foam.
Exactly.
And craft foam. And seriously, the power of Jesus holds that thing together. And then the bottom is like clay, which makes it extremely heavy if you're not careful with it. But that was my first ever prop build, and I learned a lot from it. Like, hey, don't start a prop 3 days before the convention that you've never done before and you've never done 3D modeling. You're going to cry.
Even though Con Crunch is so much of a common
thing.
Yeah, I can't tell you.
It's what we did for OniCon last year when we decided what we were going to do maybe 2 weeks before the con happened.
Oh, the con crunch was
And I made that axe in 12 hours.
And then we made the wizard staff for my wizard Sylveon, and
That thing is like jerry-rigged together.
and it does not come apart.
No, it doesn't.
It's just one really long staff, so
Oh my gosh, there is a funny story.
transporting that was fun.
There's a funny story behind that. So me and Bree went to the Home Depot to get PVC pipes. PVC pipes. What they do not do is we bought electrical conduit. And tip for anyone who goes to Home Depot or Lowe's for electrical conduit, they don't cut it for you. I have a Sebring. If you don't know how small that like mid-sized car is, fitting like a full thing of PVC conduit ain't gonna happen. So we bought an axe tool, and us two women in the front of the Home Depot are sawing madly as these men are looking at us like, "Do you need help?"
And I'm just like 5 men come up and ask,
No.
like, "Do you need help to cut that?" Or
Not
like,
at all.
saw that, and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, no, we got this."
And then at one point, I had gotten it halfway, and I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of sawing this. Hi-ya! Over the knee, and then we shoved it into the back of my Sebring, and I swear it almost went through the windshield at one
I'll
point.
give her a hop and a hi-ya, and then I'll kick her some.
Thanks, Bartok. But it made it in the car. So that's another thing with prep. Like, con prep, if you have a friend with a truck or a U-Haul, when you go, bribe them with pizza or beer or whatever, candy.
How feasible is it to get a U-Haul for going to a con?
I mean,
Well, if you're traveling like my friend does a Big Daddy cosplay from BioShock, anytime he travels, he cannot fly with it. He has to rent one of those small U-Hauls and put it in the back. So that's what I'm talking about, big builds. Big builds.
Who is
Yeah. Oh gosh, his name is Simon, and I cannot remember his cosplay handle at this current moment in time.
Terrible friend.
I am a terrible friend. I have ADD. Things slip my mind. Simon, I love you. I'm sorry. I'm having a problem remembering things. I'm on the spot. But there's a lot of prep work that goes into it. Like if you're going to make a big thing, make sure you have the means to transport it so you're not disappointed come time of con and you're like with your staff where we were like praying that it fit in the cab of that truck. Because it is, okay, so
between that and your axe.
yes, so for reference, I'm 5'9", and that staff at least towers 1.5 feet.
Too tall.
It's
Over
a
my head.
really big staff. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted an impressive staff, and this is what I get for wanting
The
to be
size
impressive.
doesn't matter about the staff.
Size matters.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
Size matters.
yeah.
Not to this girl. Hey, but you
I'm
know,
only kidding you.
I know
When it comes to
we're pushing it
staff.
with that PG rating.
Yeah.
Well, size matters
Insert
does come into play for wizard staffs. You want something impressive. You want all the other wizards to know that you
heck
mean
yeah.
business.
And then you got it caught in your cape,
You know what? We don't have to talk about that. No keeps.
and you've turned into Kyle with the table bangs.
I am not banging the table. I am pointedly fingering it.
Now we're gonna have to edit that.
For emphasis.
You're gonna have to
I'm
edit
gonna
that.
have to edit that.
We don't have to think about that.
No, I'll let Eric do it.
You're gonna blow him out of the speaker. He's gonna get this footage and go, "Oh my god,
What on earth?
He's not here to supervise us.
Audio.
whatever."
Audio.
On the audio, you. No, he's gonna get this audio and he's gonna be like, "Oh my god, we let the Squirrel Brain Trio on
And
this
Mike.
podcast." And Mike. Well, Mike. Well, so I should say
You guys
Squirrel
are
Brain
actually
Squad.
pretty team today. I like this.
It's because I had coffee, so I'm half asleep.
Don't
Oh,
get
heck
used
yeah.
to
Oh.
it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, because I have ADD, so when I drink coffee, it like puts me
reverses it.
under the table.
Nice.
So I had like a Trenta iced coffee, and I am super focused today.
Nice. I like it.
So that's why it took me 4 hours to do my makeup, because I was like superimposed of like this isn't straight, and my eyebrows aren't sisters.
Wait, makeup.
I'm just super focused because I'm not used to wearing fake lashes and they're super heavy. So if you think that I am super focused, it's me just really going, this feels weird.
Yeah.
And blinking, feeling how the weight is different. That's all that is.
I was about to say, because if you've never worn fake eyelashes before, it basically feels like two individual visors right over your eyeball. and they're pretty much as heavy. So by the end of the day, you're like, I'm not tired, but my eyes just don't want to stay open anymore.
Right.
And I need to shut them for eternity. And then the best part is peeling them off after the end
Oh my
of the
god,
day.
yes. Well, the other thing is like, there's bottom lashes too. A lot of people don't like, they're like, why would I put bottom lashes on? It's just a whole look thing. But when you peel those off and they get stuck to your bottom eyelashes, that is not relaxing. That is like you're stuck in hell because you don't want to rip that bottom lash off. It hurts.
I've never experienced
I'm going to have that later today. I know it because this one, remember, I was fighting it and crying it off because we tight-lined our eyeballs and they make your eyeballs water, and so that thing didn't want to stick on there. So it's stuck on there with a hope and a prayer, and I'm going to rip that off later and be like, oh, Jesus. You know, it's not going to go well.
Are you going to scream like a girl?
I'm going to scream a lot of things that aren't PG appropriate for this podcast.
I'm really just more focused on the
that makes
glue
sense.
clumps.
Yes.
Glue clumps.
And so, since we've been hopping all around, like our main thing is about cosplay, starting, you know, always start small. If you want to start big, start big. That's your dream, go for it.
I will say, if you start big right off the bat, you might not be prepared for how overwhelming it is because people are coming at asking you for pictures, like how much they love your cosplay, and if you're not used to that, then
It's a sensory overload, for sure.
because it definitely was for my CL in San Japan, because that was my first cosplay, and it is a big dress, and it's a very known look. And they had so many people coming up asking me for pictures, how much they love my cosplay, getting in my face, touching my cosplay, and I was very unprepared for that. I was not aware that that was something that happened all the time.
Well, that's
So I definitely felt very overwhelmed.
Well, that's something that I am very like strict about in cosplay. Like cosplay is all fun and games, but there is the serious part of like you should always ask someone before touching someone or posing for pictures. Like, hey, are you comfortable if I put my arm around you, or can I like touch your material or whatever? I have a really hard time like when people just reach out and touch me. So I don't want people. There's, you know, it's manners that we've all been brought up with. It's like, just ask.
And I understand that, but to also a certain extent, like, people are like, ooh, shiny, must touch the thing. Oh, wait, I touched the thing without asking.
Well, I usually run into the ones who've done that, and then they immediately apologize. Oh, I'm fine with that. When I said I didn't have a bad experience, I only had one bad experience, and that was my third A-Con. When I was... I don't know why this is a thing, by the way. I was in Belle, full yellow ball gown, full, you know, I'm a hefty person. That gown is also hefty. So I was waiting for my brother to get out of the bathroom, and somebody ran and picked me up from behind. I'm classically trained in self-defense. Don't do that.
Classically trained? There's
I have
classic trained?
Well, I say classically.
You know what,
my grandfather is Comanche, so I'm trained in Comanche war tactics, which if you know anything about that,
I like this.
that's lethal. Don't pick me up because you could have a broken nose or worse. So it really freaked me out. And needless to say, it was a very flailing, not G-rated Belle that like full on in the middle of a Disney meet and greet. But the thing was, he picked me up and tried to run away, and that was a no-go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I threw the biggest hissy fit. That was my only one thing, and that's what I'm like with cosplay. There's
But
things.
who thinks that that's appropriate to begin with?
Some people do.
That is a very good question.
That's what I'm saying. There's boundaries in the cosplay community or in the con community that, like, you know, some people don't think that it's a problem. They think, oh, it's funny, it's a joke. No, it's not a joke to that person who's like, I'm a big girl, don't pick me up.
Yeah. And it's not even that. People just shouldn't pick people up without permission.
No, like a pickup line. Okay, that's fine. I don't care about that.
No pickup lines for me. Thank you.
I don't care about that. Just don't pick me up.
Especially brief.
So that's the main thing that always gets glossed over at cons is like etiquette. I'm like, how do you act?
Yeah.
You know, that's a big thing about conventions. I've noticed everyone has been super polite here, like, excuse me, and, you know,
Yes.
That's very, very nice to see that, you know, this is a very congenial and happy con. I really haven't seen any angry people. I haven't.
Not yet at all.
I mean, it is Saturday, and
This
it
is
is
a very
early,
chill place.
so come midnight tonight, and people have had a couple, you know, woos. It may not be that I'm trying.
What was that?
Woos. People may not be so congenial later, but as of now, we're doing pretty good.
And there's so many interesting people here. There's so many people with like different imaginations of the same things. Like I've seen multiple different dragon booths, but each one is their own thing, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
She loves dragons.
I do love dragons. Speaking of dragons, where is the giant toothless?
Oh yeah.
Over there, towards the maker.
Okay.
The maker section.
And that's all.
The bricks, the Houston Brick Club.
Okay.
Which is like Lego stuff.
That's also something else I want to talk about this convention, or conventions in general, that a lot of things get glazed over when you're talking about merchandise and things to buy. The amount of talent that is in this room for artists or vendors or people who have artwork or things that they have made and put out. The amount of talent in this room is astounding, and like they should all be proud of themselves.
Completely.
It's amazing.
With skull lamps.
He takes like vintage lamps with vodka bottles that were skulls and turns them into skull lamps, and it's one of the coolest things that I've seen.
They're honestly gorgeous.
And they're all completely different, and he can't guarantee you that he's going to be able to make you the same one. So you have like a one-of-a-kind piece of artwork from like vintage stuff that nobody thinks about anymore.
And it's a light-up skull.
It is a light-up. And he has varying skulls. There's some rainbow skulls over there. There's like pearlescent one. You know, you name it.
Have you guys seen the Doctor Who booth? If you guys are Doctor Who fans.
No.
There's a Doctor Who one now?
There is a booth of prop makers.
Okay.
And they have a booth with TARDIS. We have Davros as well there. If you've seen the episode that came to theaters with the War Doctor on it,
okay.
They have the crystal, the piece that has the crystal inside the middle that destroys the planet, or that could destroy the planet.
Okay.
They have several things over there. It's like you can't touch it because it's fragile and it's.
I'm gonna touch it. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna touch it.
Do not touch the button.
I'm not destructive.
But yeah, they're. I don't remember what booth number, but they're like from this podcast booth here. They're diagonally left.
Straight.
That way.
Did I just
The
say
point
straight?
being that there is just so much talent.
It is, and it is amazing.
And imagination, and it's really wonderful to see.
And the amount of like, when we say, we've been talking about cosplay a lot today, the amount of like talent that I see in this room, people putting in so much effort for their cosplays or their costumes, or even like well coordinated outfits. A lot of thinking went out today, and like nobody ever really gets recognition for that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you are a budget cosplayer or like you spend thousands of dollars. I've been at both sections. I prefer the budget. There's so much talent in this room, and it's like mind-boggling. And I remember the first time I was at a con when I cosplayed as the Penguin.
Yeah.
Of all things.
There actually is a Davros rolling around here.
Yeah, I saw that. The amount of talent, it's like overwhelming. I cried for the first time, and every time I come to a con and see so much talent, and like especially young new cosplayers, it just makes me so happy. And especially the ones that I've helped how to build things, it makes me happy to see that people love the same things that I do. Like when we were doing that, the first Evolution builds that we did together.
Yeah.
And I know I cursed so much hemming. So many hours spent hemming and like punching my sewing machine because she's a jerk. And I spent hemming her tulle and her skirt, but like the look on her face when she put it on didn't even matter anymore. Didn't even matter that I'd stabbed myself with my sewing machine when you weren't there. Didn't matter.
So you
And that skirt is gorgeous.
I don't commission. It's more of like when my really close friends are like, hey, I want to do this, but I don't know how. I had a...
Do they like buy the materials for you?
Oh yeah, prepaid for her materials. And what I do a stipulation is if you want to cosplay, you're going to come over to my house and I'm going to teach you how to do it.
Right.
So you don't have to depend on anyone. You can be your own independent cosplayer. And then that's how you came to acquire your sewing machine, which
I'm still not very good at.
I'm not either. Patricia is my
It's
sewing
been
machine,
years
and I've had her
I've
since
been
I was
sewing,
13.
So yeah, I know the feeling.
So it's
I just can't get the curve. Like I could go straight just fine, but when it comes to like
Those
turning the fabric
damn
so I can get a
curves.
curve, I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's hard, but that's what like mine is. It's like, hey,
Go slow. Go very slow.
very slow. Caution on wide turns. When it's time to make stuff, like you said, they buy their materials, and I'm like, come over to my house. We'll have margaritas and hem. Probably not the best idea to do. You know, you don't want to be drunk and sew things, but you know, it works out for us. And then we did those Pokemon builds, which were the fastest build I've ever done. And you want to talk about don't get disappointed when something doesn't work out. I made a full breastplate out of foam grommets. It was like my first big like breastplate thing that I was so happy for because it fit and everything. And I went to like lace it up for the first time and the whole back ripped out. And I was so upset. But I was like, oh my god, it's a
But then,
Nubis.
like,
Sorry.
the best prop of the entire thing was Linzee's, like, $5 bow that people wanted her to shoot everywhere.
It was like a 5-year-old's bow, and she's like, my arm is longer than this thing, but why are people so enamored with it?
I was like, why are people taking photos of this? Because I'm like, everything else about the cosplay was completely fine, and then you just get this inky suction cup bow that, like, you find at, like, the Halloween store, and I was like, alright, awesome cosplay. Pew! Like, with my little inky bow. I'm like, I don't know.
It was a very popular request for people to ask her to just fling one of the little suction cup arrows just out of random.
And just her trying to get those jumping shots for our coordinations. That I know. I saw the Anubis. I freaked out. Did you not hear me go, oh my god, it's Anubis?
I did not hear
I
that.
said it fully. And, oh, yeah.
But look at that.
Dude.
Yeah. We approve.
So besides being a cosplayer, the why I got distracted is my major is archaeology and Egyptology, so I got a little sidetracked. So
Forgot about that.
yeah, not only do I like doing artistic things, I'm a history nerd. So
I'm here to do that.
what are you talking about? You've got those luscious bangs.
Heck yeah,
You have a beard.
Yeah, just
Flip it.
Oh, that's
flip
true.
your-
I do.
like Farrah Fawcett, flip that facial.
I can Fu
You
Manchu.
flipped that right into my mouth.
That
I'm
was
sorry.
That just came out of her mouth.
I'm sorry.
What?
Oh my god.
Anyways.
I always expect my bangs to like come down in front of my face.
Oh,
but
so
they
you
never
go
do.
like full My Chemical
So
Romance bangs.
instead of doing the flipping thing, most guys will like just run their hands through the hair and go up. Like, there you go. Just like that.
Who knew this would turn into a cosplay and con discussion panel on how to be sexy with your hair?
You came here for the history of conventions.
You
but
got
that is
none
not
of
what you
that.
got.
Yeah, no.
None of that, which is what our podcast is we talk about what we want.
Anything and everything.
Because again, the host of that is not here.
Even when the host is there, you remember the episode with the shoe. We talked about one thing we were supposed to talk about, and then it got derailed, and we talked for 30 minutes on how I look like Nick Fury, and a lot of it had to be cut out, and it's the end of the episode.
Yeah, if you're coming into this new, which some of you are, our main host is on his way still to the convention, so...
And he probably won't make
He
it in
is
time.
the Fathergamer.
He
We
is
are
actually
not.
the
We are just
Silver Rocks.
We are stand-ins.
Hello.
And you are great stand-ins.
Y'all are
I have
creepy.
to
Good
admit.
job.
Y'all are awesome.
As stand-ins, we're still a part of
Yes,
TFGP.
you're still part of TFGP.
Oh my God.
yes.
Okay, so, but like, am I? Because
We're all
I have...
crazy.
Here at Comic
We really should just be called
Shout
like...
out.
Yeah, COMICPALOOZA. We really should just be called like the Fathergamer and the Crazies.
Because,
I'm
Mike,
okay with this.
like, I've recorded like 8 episodes, none of which have
None
aired
have actually
because
aired.
those those audio files got corrupted. So I'm in one episode, and I talk about a very not suitable for this convention topic, and that is it. And you know what? That's the only episode that my boyfriend's mother listened to.
Oh,
So that was
awesome.
fun.
You want to talk about what an awkward topic over Christmas dinner?
She didn't bring it up.
Just an inappropriate podcast with
But-
the mother-in-law.
So I'm in one segment of this podcast that I've been involved with for the past 2 years, even though I've recorded multiple episodes. But you know what? I'm going to blame it on Matt.
Matt does.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, Matt derails us all, and then we just evolve into
How
chaos.
those two?
It's
Your own
Kyle.
brother.
Yeah, I grew up with that. I know. Don't remind me. I
You guys
live
are
with
both
it.
squirrels.
But I'm a cuter squirrel.
I'm okay with this too.
See? I mean, Kyle's a squirrel for sure. No, wait. I'm a squirrel. Kyle's more of like.
What is Kyle wearing for the
Yeah,
convention?
chipmunk.
Do you want
I-
to take bets?
I bet it is the fusion
What breed?
run with Nina.
What'd you say?
So Kyle only has like 3 shirts that he wears to conventions.
It's a
Oh, yeah.
piccolo shirt with like a
With
pickle.
Yeah, the pickle. Yeah.
And then there is a Full Metal Alchemist shirt where it's like the Dragon Ball Z fusion, but
Oh,
it's
with-
with
yes.
Nina and the dog.
You are-
And
you're
then
right.
he has his Power Rangers shirt.
Those are the three. I'm betting on those three.
Which is fading now, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
So
yeah, it's one of his favorite shirts.
It actually kind of works. I like it.
I'm loving the cameraman over here.
Yeah.
It's like expressing what I feel.
There's been a couple people around that have been taking pictures and videos.
And so yeah, he has 3 shirts that he always wears. I really want to get him a shirt for conventions when we are together as a podcast that has the tagline of like, "Damn it, Kyle."
I still need to make that.
We need it. Yeah, I need it. I need it in my life. I need a sticker. We need some merch.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll work on that as soon as possible.
I need a picture of me on a T-shirt looking like Nick Fury with an eye patch because Kyle has permanently ruined my vision.
And they can be sold as a set.
I know. For
RGB.
Nobody says that.
What's RGB? It's our hair color. Have you not watched Boku no Hero Academia?
It's also red, green, blue, which is a computer reference.
See, my nerd brain went to the computer reference.
Yeah.
I was like, is he trying to say the rainbow? Roy G. Biv?
Roy G. Biv. Exactly. It's the base colors.
See, squirrel brains. That's all that's on this podcast is squirrel brains, and that's why we work together. So, I think a lot of people relate to that because they're like,
we work together really well.
I'm trying to be the.
You know, I haven't killed anyone yet.
Is that the actual?
Mainly
but we haven't stayed on topic at all.
We've talked about conventions.
We have no topic.
We were coming in here and we were told to vomit into the mic. For word vomit, and that's what we have done. We've talked about conventions, we've talked about cosplay. We have stayed on a tentative topic, and now that we're getting close to wrapping it up,
that's a really cool wallpaper, by the way.
Thanks. I think we've done really well. I think Eric would be proud of us.
This is a great episode so far.
The squirrels.
The squirrels.
The squirrel girls.
Because literally, I feel like our podcast is basically like, if we were going to sum up in a picture, I think it's just Eric
trying to control all.
It's mostly Eric.
Yeah, he's a father, and then it's just us as his little children, just like running around his deal. And he's just like trying to corral.
He's trying to hold it together with the like.
That's fair.
Decorum of, he's trying to hold it together.
Just making it function, trying to make a family photo happen.
And
but
every single time that happens, he's like, I had to edit that.
Oh yeah, because there are some like, although we are, pretty free cursing, there's some words that Eric doesn't want, and so he has to edit. He has to heavy edit sometimes because when we all start ping-ponging off each other, it's bad.
And we also can't say it here as well.
No, we're PG. And I've done really well. I haven't said any of the no-no words.
Great, yes.
I've said the words that I can say.
Yes.
So I'm proud of myself. That's a personal record.
He's wearing his purple Piccolo shirt.
Is he?
Yes.
Where is he?
No, I texted Alyssa.
Oh. Okay. No, she texted him. Okay, that was a random blurb.
I thought he was here. I was like,
I was not wrong. He's got 3
con shirts, and he's in the purple Piccolo shirt. Okay.
All right.
So we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this has been the Fathergamer Podcast. Without the Fathergamer, I am Silverhawks, no vowels, SLVRHWKS.
And I am Brook, or also known on Instagram and Twitter as CurlyQ_cosplay.
I'm also on those as well.
Yeah.
I am on Instagram as Miss Murder Cosplay.
Murder, yeah.
One. Oh, and I was like, got so distracted. I'm like, oh my god. Anyway, I am Linzee Gray, LINZEEGRAY Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and twitch.tv/Linzee Gray.
Because Lindsay's a streamer, we didn't talk enough about that.
Well, I mean, it was about cosplay. So I
stream as
cosplay
well,
on the
but not as
side.
often.
But,
We're also hitting that, like, it's lunchtime.
Yes,
It's
yes. Grab some food, stay
Perfect
hydrated, people.
Oh, yeah, hydration.
Please stay hydrated. That's a very big thing about cogs.
So we are good.
Mic drop.
Do not drop that mic.
I did that when I plugged it into the cord. Yeah,
I can't scoot it out.
I'll take this thing off of
My things have no grip on the bottom. Jesus!
It still did it!
Or you can take one of mine.
I am sorry.
God.
This is our producer.
Every time.
Every time. I turned it off though.
That.
Third time.
I got to use my theater skills and just word vomit.
Awesome.
I did some improv, so I just followed your lead.
No, that works. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sad that your friend didn't show up.
Yeah, it's fine.
But now you can get him.